Ms. Jayashree Kannan will be talking about Navaveda Bhakti, the music. She had a schooling at the Besant Theosophical High School. She holds a degree, bachelor's degree in Indian music, and she holds a master's degree in Indian philosophy from the University of Madras. She was teaching in a school, and now she teaches teaches chanting of Vedic mantras, as well as she teaches Carnatic music. She has been presenting some musical presentations which combine the Carnatic music and the theosophical subjects. She is the librarian at the Adyar Library and Research Center for more than she has been with the center for more than 2.5 decades, and now she is heading the library. She has served as the archivist in charge of the Surendranaran archives here, and now she is complete charge of the library of the Adyar Library and Research Center. I invite Ms. Jayashree Kannan to please present her talk on Navaveda. Thank you.
Om Namah Pranavaya Shuddha Jnanaikamurtaye Nirmalaya Prashantaya Dakshinamurtaye Namah. Om Namah Pranavaya Shuddha Jnanaikamurtaye Nirmalaya Prashantaya Dakshinamurtaye Namah. Sri Dakshinamurtaye Namah. Namaste. It gives me great pleasure to be a speaker in this platform. I have never addressed a scholarly audience like you, but it's a humble presentation with lot of love and affection. My topic is impact of music, impact of Bhakti on Indian music. Bhakti is the foundation of all spiritual practices. It is both a means and an end in itself. What is the nature of Bhakti? The Narada Bhakti Sutra says, it is of nature of supreme love towards God. The origin of this doctrine has been traced to both Brahminical and Buddhist traditions of ancient India and to various scriptures such as Bhagavad Gita. Sri Krishna makes a beautiful statement about the significance of bhakti or devotion in the chapter 18 of Bhagavad Gita. Bhaktya mam abhijanati yavan yaschasmi tattvataha tato mam tattvato jnatva vishate tat anantaram. In the 9th chapter, Sri Krishna highlights the profoundness of true bhakti, which pleases him the most, as Patram pushpam phalam toyam yo me bhaktya prayachati tadam bhaktya upahartam asmami pratyatmanah. Let us briefly trace how the Bhakti movement evolved. In South India, between 7th and 10th century, Bhakti emerged from a mere religious doctrine into a popular movement based on religious equality and broad-based social participation. The Saiva Nayanar and Vaishnava Alvar saints of South India spread the concept of bhakti among different sections of the society. Some of these saints hailed from a lower caste and some were women. They used Tamil or the regional languages in the case of other saints hailing from other parts of India and not Sanskrit for composing devotional songs. Thus, the movement could acquire a popular base. These saint poets made bhakti accessible to all without any distinction or discrimination. For example, the four Tamil Saivite saints, whom we refer to as Saiva Kuravar Nalvar in Tamil, have contributed immensely not only to Saivite literature but to the entire Tamil literature and beyond literature to music also. Here is a sample of Tamil Nalvar's works. I am going to sing only a line or two. Thiruñana Sambandar composed Devaram. தோடுடைய செவியன் விடையேறியோர் தூவின் மணி சூடி காடுடைய சுடலை பொடி பூசி என் உள்ளம் கவர்கள்வன். Appar or Tirunavukarasu composed Devaram. One of them is மாதர் பிறை கன்னியானை மலையான் மகளோடு பாடி. Sundarar's Devaram is Pitta Pirai Sudi. Pitta Pirai Sudi Perumane Arulala எத்தான் மறவாதே நினைக்கின்றே மனதுன்னை. Manikavasagar composed Tiruvasagam, and here is one of them. நமச்சிவாய வாழ்க நாதன் தாழ்வாழ்க நமச்சிவாய வாழ்க நாதம் தாழ்வாழ்க. Among the Indian philosophers, Ramanuja gave a philosophical justification for the emotion called bhakti. He established a balance between the orthodox Brahmanism and popular bhakti, which was open to all. He told that of Ramanuja that a mantra was once given to him by his guru, and he asked what would happen if he told it to another. Thou wilt die was the answer. And what will happen to the one who hears it? He will be liberated. Then outran the devotee of Sri Krishna, and flying to the top of a tower, he shouted out the mantra to the crowded street below, careless what happened to himself, so that others should be set free from sin and sorrow. There is the typical devotee, there the lover, transformed into likeness of the beloved. This shows his abounding love and bhakti towards humanity's well-being. From 13th to 15th century, many popular socio-religious movements flourished in the north, east and western India. Emphasis on bhakti and religious equality characterized these movements. In the north, it was Haveli Sangeet. Haveli Sangeet is a form of Hindustani classical music sung in Havelis or mansions. Haveli Sangeet is another name for Hindu temple music practiced by the followers of Vaishnavism in Rajasthan, Gujarat, and is considered a part of rich historical tradition. Although a mix of classical and folk music, the style is inherently borrowed from the Dhrupad and Damar traditions, which we heard just now. The impact of Bhakti movement on Indian music was through Haveli Sangeet, along with bhajans and kirtans in the north. Kabir was the earliest or one of the most powerful poets of the 15th century. He belonged to a family of weavers. Moko Kahan Dundre Bande is a popular bhajan by poet Saint Kabir, where he teaches us through a series of negations to look beyond action and ultimately find God within one's own heart. मोको कहाँ ढूंढ रे बंदे, मैं तो तेरे पास में। मोको कहाँ ढूंढ रे बंदे, मैं तो तेरे पास में। Guru Nanak preached his ideas much in the similar way as Kabir. जगत में झूठी देखी प्रीत, जगत में जगत में झूठी देखी प्रीत, जगत में झूठी देखी। Kabir's and Nanak bhajans were more of Nirguna Bhakti, whereas Mirabai's and Surdas bhajans were of Saguna Bhakti. Mirabai was a celebrated Bhakti saint of 16th century. She was a Hindu mystic poet and a devotee of Krishna. Hari, 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 tumharo janaki bhir, Hari, tumharo janaki bhir, Draupadi ki लाज राखी तुर बढ़ायो चीर, हरि तुम्हरो जनकी फिर। Surdas was a Hindu devotional poet and singer. He believed that bhakti provided an alternative avenue of worship. Surdas, though blind, was a Saguna Bhakti. How was it possible for him to see the Lord Krishna and describe the beautiful qualities? Maybe it was possible for him that his internal vision was on par with the external vision of the Murti. अखिया हरि दर्शन की प्यासी, अखिया हरि दर्शन की प्यासी, अखिया हरि दर्शन की प्यासी. Let us now turn our attention to the Navavida Bhakti. Bhakti can be mainly classified into 9 forms according to Bhagavata Purana. Bhagavata Purana is the first in the literature to express 9 forms of Bhakti, and today we would deal with some samples of Navavida Bhakti. Shravanam Kirtanam Vishnu Smaranam Padasevanam Archanam Vandanam Dasyam Sakyamatmanivedanam. First one is Shravana. It means listening and hearing the divine glories of Lord, listening about His qualities, the stories, the leelas and divine plays. By doing so, one begins to subconsciously develop love and reverence for the Supreme Being. Here is a sample of a composition by Saint Tyagaraja. Rama Katha Sudha Rasapanam Okarajamu Se Suni Rama Katha Sudha. Next is Kirtanam. It is singing the praise of Lord's magnificence, His glories with devotion. By constantly chanting Lord's name, it is said that Valmiki became purified and perfected being by chanting his name. Inta kannanandamemi O Rama Rama inta kannanandamemi. The third one is Smaranam. It is the constant remembrance of the Lord, reveling in the contemplation of His beauty, majesty and compassion. The greatest example of a devotee who realized God through Smaranam is Prahlad, who was just a little child who attained God realization. Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, "He who seeth me in everywhere and seeth everything in me, of him will I never lose hold, and he shall never lose hold of me." Lord Krishna in chapter 8 says, "Therefore at all times think upon me only and fight. With mind and reason set on me, without doubt shall come to me. With the mind not wandering after aught else, harmonized by continual practice, constantly meditating. O Partha, one goeth to the Spirit, Supreme, Divine." Smaranamunde salade Govindana, Smaranamunde salade Govindana, Smaranamunde salade. Padasevanam, serving the Lord's feet. Padasevanam is the worship of the Lord by concentrating upon or honoring Lord's feet. It is an innate sense of surrender to the Supreme, leading worship of the Lord's feet. Andal, also known as Nachiyar, was the 9th century Tamil woman poet saint from the Bhakti tradition of South India. She composed Tirupavai and Nachiyar Tirumul. The second Tirupavai, Vaiyathu Vazhirgal, is an example of Pada Sevanam. In that, Vaiyathu Indra Paramanadi Padi Vaiyathu Indra Paramanadi Padi, which means singing the praise to his feet and the divine Lord. Archana, Bhagavad Gita says, he who offereth to me with devotion a leaf, a flower, a fruit, water, that I accept from the striving self, offered as it is with devotion. Any devotee who seeketh to worship with faith any such aspect, I verily bestow the unswerving faith of that man. Archanam is the complete offering of the form of pujas or ritualistic worship of the Lord, chanting mantras, singing bhajan, offering arati, food, flowers, and even clothes to the Supreme. Tulasi dala mulache santoshamuga pujintu tulasi dala mulache santoshamuga. Vandanam, offering obeisance unto the Lord. It is supreme reverence or prayer to the Lord. In this form of devotion, a devotee begins to see his favorite form of the Lord everywhere and in all beings and objects. In the Bhagavad Gita, chapter 7, Sri Krishna says, fourfold in division are the righteous ones who worship me, O Arjuna, the suffering, the seeker for knowledge, the self-interested, and the wise, O Lord of the Bharatas. Of these, the wise constantly harmonized, worshipping the one is the best. I am supremely dear to the wise, and he is dear to me. దండము పెట్టేనురా కోదండ పాణి చూడరా దండము పెట్టేనురా కోదండ పాణి చూడరా. Dasyam, serving the Lord as his servant. It is when the devotee sees himself as not just the servant of the Lord, but also the servant of the Lord's devotee as well, with no sense of inferiority. Dasyam refers to a heartfelt yearning to be a personal service to the Supreme. The Ramayana offers an extraordinary example of personal service. Hanuman is the perfect example of Dasya Bhakta, or the one who realized God through serving the Lord Rama wholeheartedly with pure love. Dasana Madi Koyanna Dasana Madi Koyanna Swami Shasira Namada Venkataramana Dasana Madi Koyanna. Sakyam, developing friendship with the Lord. In this form of devotion, the devotee considers himself to be the friend or Sakha of the Supreme. ನಾನೇಕೆ ಬಡವನು ನಾನೇಕೆ ಪರದೇಸಿ ಶ್ರೀನಿಧೆ ಹರಿಯನಗೆ ನೀನಿರುವ ತನಕ ನಾನೇಕೆ ಬಡವನು. The last form is Atmanivedanam, total surrender of oneself to the Lord. It is the complete surrender to the will of the Supreme with no traces. In this form of devotion, the devotee and the Lord becomes one. Kalaharana melara hare Sitarama Kalaharana melara hare. Saguna and Nirguna Bhakti are two different ideological streams of Bhakti movement. Saguna represents verses or bhajans on God with attributes or form. Nirguna represents verses or bhajans on God without and beyond all attributes or form. Nirguna and Saguna Bhakti are not opposed to each other. In fact, they complement each other. One must advance from Saguna to Nirguna. Tulasidas, Chaitanya, Surdas and Meera were the main proponents of Saguna Bhakti. Nanak and Kabir were main proponents of Nirguna Bhakti. Kabir sings Nirbhaya. Nirbhaya nirguna guna re मैं गाऊंगा गाऊंगा ओ निर्भय निर्गुण गुण रे मैं गाऊंगा गाऊंगा मूल कमल दृढ़ आसन बांधूंजी उलटी पवन चंदाऊंगा निर्भय कहत कबीरा कहत कबीरा सुनो भाई साधो जी जीत निशन गुरु आऊंगा निर्भय निर्गुण गुण रे मैं गाऊंगा गाऊंगा Bhakti, as shown by all saints, were channels to bring the individual closer to the Supreme Being and to fellow human beings. But over time, we see that Bhakti aspect has reached a level of fanaticism, and this can result in divisions and not in harmony. Bhakti knows no barrier, be it language or religion or region or language. Bhakti is universal, and it is a fact that it has brought about a new perspective to social, philosophical and aesthetic dimension. I conclude with a Kshamapan. करचरणकृतं वा खायजं कर्मजं वा श्रवणनयनजं वा मानसं वा विहितमविहितं वा सद्भवेद क्षमस्व शिव शिव करुणाब्धे श्री महादेव शम्भो.
We saw how Miss Jayashree appearances can be very deceptive, and that we saw with Miss Jayashree. Because nobody would have expected her to give such a beautiful musical rendition in such a seminar like as ours, and she has really brought out the crossroads of a concept called bhakti, which is actually not just a religious factor, but it's a philosophical factor if we go very deep into it, as she depicted with the concept of Saguna Bhakti and Nirguna Bhakti. When we talk about Saguna Bhakti and Nirguna Bhakti, we immediately tend to think of Ramanuja on one side, the Vishishtadvaita and all the Vishishtadvaita, the Vaishnavic or the Shaivic traditions, and Nirguna means immediately we think about Shankara, but they all talked about Bhakti as a stepping stone to go to that one higher truth, the absolute truth. And then she also brought about how this concept of Bhakti has been, knows no barriers. Whether it was language, she started with the language, the Samayapura Varna Alvar, that is why she started with them. And then she went on to the Alvars, Andal. And then she went on to Hindi, Kabir, Tulsidas, Meera. Meera is not actually pure Hindi, but we have the Hindi, the sing in Meera. And then she brought all of them together to actual Carnatic music, which is actually Telugu by Tyagaraja. That's what she was talking about on Tyagaraja. And then she was also planning about Purandara. So there are so many other people, and she brought it out very beautifully. And of course, as much as Tulsidas says that my eyes are longing for a vision of Hari, we have this classical cinema song, Mana Tadapathu Hari Darshanako Aaj by Mohammad Rafi, a Muslim. Sahir Vidyanvi, the lyricist, a Muslim. The person who enacted that is a Muslim. And what were they talking about? Haridarshan. Where is the barrier? Why are we talking about divisions through religion? Divisions through our color? Divisions through our language? But let us put all that aside. Think about what bhakti can do to us, what love can do to us, what compassion can do to us by bringing us all together as one humanity. And that's what we are trying to achieve here through all our seminars or all our gatherings, through all our exchanges. And I wish that when we leave as one whole rather than different. And I thank Ms. Jayashree Kannan to have brought out that aspect of universal love. And that's what philosophy is all about. Thank you very much. If there are any questions, please.
Namaste ma'am, thank you for such a wonderful session. I want to ask one question, that in dance and music we have a concept of Nayak and Nayaki that comes into Sringaram. So if you want to see that as Sringara Bhakti, then in which of the Navavida Bhakti would it come? Would it be Sakhyam, much of more?
There are different categories. There are 4 kinds of bhakti, 5 kinds of bhakti, and so on. Maybe in that one of them might be, or more than 9 also are there. Yes, this is only one type of group of bhakti. Maybe in the other group of bhakti, it may be there.
It is there. When Thirumangai Alvar, or he looks upon the Lord, he talks about himself as the Parankusha Nayaki. He presents himself as Parankusha Nayaki. That means he is the consort of the Lord. And there we have Sringara Bhakti in that Alvar. So we cannot classify, there are several ways of approaching Bhakti. It is just an emotional connect with the higher spirit. That's it. And we give names. These are how she took it up from the Bhagavatam, the Navavida Bhakti, she took it from Bhagavatam. There are other ways of classifying. Because according to Saiva Siddhanta, mostly they will talk about the 4 types of Bhakti, and that is what she touched upon from the Saiva Siddhanta.